Shakur, did you think it was a draw?
Nah.
Who you thought won? Lamont? You still want the Tank Davis fight? You still want the Tank Davis fight? Do the draw take out a little steam or fire out of it, or is it still the same?
I'm the best fighter in boxing. I've been saying this. So.
Shakur, what went wrong for Shakur?
114 to 114, even a draw. The decision is a majority draw.
Hey Danny, what do you think about the fight, man? Was that a good decision?
Hey, Lamont came to fight. You can't take no credit away from him. I think Tank had a little off night a little bit. He was off a little bit tonight. But Lamont came to fight. You can't take none away from him. He earned that tonight.
Would you want a rematch and you think it'll go differently?
Do 10x that?
I'm not even going to shit on him. But look, I want some money tonight. That's all I'm happy for. I want money tonight.
Shakur, tell us something, bro. Like, what did you think about the decision?
I ain't going to shit on him.
Okay.
We still got to see each other. He say he want to fight me, so we going to fight.
But what do you think about the decision?
I thought Lamont won.
You know, in the early rounds, it was as though Tank was doing what he does and setting up a possible knockout or a probable knockout, which was what most people expected to see. And then over the course of the next several rounds, you saw that maybe the opponent, Lamont.
Decision by the judges. I think I pulled it out for the last 3 rounds. For sure, I think I pulled it out the last 3 rounds. I was catching with some clean shots. I felt like I was breaking down as the round was going on. But
I think he deserved the draw. Lamont came with his A game. He came ready to fight, fighting all night. I think the whole crowd was pretty much looking for that big punch Tank would land to see if Lamont get hurt, but he came ready. He came in shape. Shout out to Lamont. Shout out to both of them. It was a great fight. Yeah, I think a draw was deserved.
What do you think about the inside tag?
There you go. So basically, he just says he went for Roach, you know, to win the fight. It was a close decision, but you know, he did have Roach winning, and ultimately, in terms of himself, you know, he thinks that if he were to get the rematch, he just wouldn't allow it to end in the judges' hands. Like, it wouldn't be a close decision next time.
What did you think about Ryu?
You know, Tank looked like the guy with the heavier hands, but Lamont had the better chin. So it's all relative. You know, so if Tank hits real hard, but the guy can take it, doesn't really matter. And I thought Roach was brilliant tonight. He had a good game plan, but those early rounds are what haunts him. He's gonna lay up at night that he wasn't a little more aggressive early on. Because early on,
I thought they both put it out there. Roach definitely showed up and did his thing. But Gervonta Davis is the champ, and it takes a lot to be able to beat the champ. But Roach definitely had something that we all wasn't expecting. Right in the power, his combinations as well. He definitely came to fight, man. He got great skills, and it was a great fight overall.
There was a moment where it seemed like he was kind of like bullying the bully. You think that was kind of a part of the tactic?
Yeah, I was surprised too because Roach is a little bigger than I thought. You know, I didn't think he was going to be able to do what he did, but he ended up doing it. Man, congratulations to both fighters for making it happen and stepping up to the plate. And man, they went toe to toe at times, so it was great. It was great.
You think if they do a rematch, it'll be kind of a similar fight, or you think one would be able to
I think it'll be a little different. You know, similar but a little different. I think there'll be a little bit more aggression this time, next time around.
I don't know.
Awesome, appreciate it, champ.
Last one.
Bueno, yo esperaba ver a un Rayo igual corriendo como lo hizo contra mí, pero creo que como se lo acabo de decir al compañero de ustedes, ¿no? Le dieron una probada de su propio chocolate y bueno, lo hicieron ver sumamente mal y bueno, creo que no es de que yo lo diga, pero pues ahí está. la pelea que dio Rayo ahorita ante un peleador que le huyó y que le metió las manos todos los rounds y Rayo no ganó ni un round.
He basically said, you know, he thought Rayo was gonna run like he did when they fought, but
Just because, could we say maybe because Lamont didn't come in really?
I think he got overconfident.
He got
I think he was thinking Lamont wasn't that good. I told everybody how the fight was gonna go. The fight went exactly how I said. Exactly.
After seeing this performance from Gervonta, do you believe your confidence has gone a little bit more up?
My
And possibly.
confidence been up. I've been on the best.
Roach actually got stronger moving up 5 pounds to 135 pounds. He was able to take Tank shots without ever really being in any serious trouble. That, I think, was unusual and disconcerting for Tank. He got a little desperate in the late rounds and began throwing much more than is normally the case.
I've seen Gervonta fight someone else like a Shakur or another opponent, but overall, what are your thoughts of the fight?
I tell you what, the fact that Lamont Roach is as familiar with Tank Davis as
Sean Porter was anticipating a keenly contested clash between Gervonta Tank Davis and Lamont Roach on March 1st at the Barclays Center in Brooklyn, New York. Baltimore's Davis, 30, successfully defended his World Boxing Association lightweight title against 29-year-old familiar foe Roach of Washington. The fight was expected to bring back old rivalries following the two fighters' amateur clashes. Porter, a former World Boxing Council welterweight titleist, had expected a very tough contest.
familiar with Tank Davis as he is. It goes beyond them fighting in the amateurs. They've spent time in camp together. He's been around Tank. He's seen Tank up close and personal, whether he's in the ring with them or not. That matters. When you know a guy.
The fact that Lamont Roach is as familiar with Tank Davis as he is, it goes beyond them fighting in the amateurs, Porter told Fight Hub TV. They've spent time in camp together. He's been around Tank. He's seen Tank up close and personal. Whether he's in the ring with them or not, that matters. When you know a guy's rhythm, when you know their speed, when you know what they're thinking, that changes everything. Davis, 30, 0, and Roach, January 1st, 25, were scheduled to face each other on December 14th, but the fight was rescheduled to next March. Boxing Scene reported earlier this month that Davis had failed to honor the initial fight date after the birth of his son in August, opting to spend more time with his newborn instead of going away to camp.
Guys' rhythm, when you know their speed, when you know what they're thinking, that changes everything, you know? Saying all this to say it because I know we got a lot of people. It don't matter. When he get hit, he going to sleep. Just wait for it.
Davis goes into the Roach fight on the back of a devastating 8th-round KO win over Frank Martin in June, making it 4 consecutive stoppage wins. Meanwhile, Roach has managed 6 consecutive wins since losing to Jamel Herring in a World Boxing Organization 130-pound championship in 2019. In November last year, Roach became a world champion when he earned a 12-round split decision win over Hector Luis Garcia to clinch the WBA junior lightweight title. Roach successfully defended his belt last June against Fergal McCrory, stopping the Irish southpaw in 8 rounds.
Until he gets hit. And again, he's tasted that before. So if he gets hit and he doesn't go away, we got a fighter in our hands, you know? I think it's a good fight.
Despite Roach's credentials, Davis's power makes him the favorite ahead of the clash. But Porter believes Roach would be up to the task on fight night. This might be a fight until he gets hit again and again. He's tasted that before. So if he gets hit and he doesn't go away, we've got a fight on our hands. I think it's a good fight. We'll see. Like I said, when you've tasted that before and you know what it feels like and what it looks like and all that kind of stuff, it's much different from it being your first time getting hit with that kind of power. Your first time seeing that kind of speed and that kind of the overall makeup of a Tank Davis is surprising to most fighters. It won't be surprising to Lamont Roach.
I think it's a good fight. I think that there's better fights for Tank Davis, but this is a good fight for him.
Do you think ultimately, as a story, like any Tank fight, like once he touches him, it's lights out?
We'll see. Like I said, when you've tasted that before.
Gervonta Tank Davis scored his 31st victory and 29th knockout when he defended his World Boxing Association lightweight title against Lamont Roach Jr. this Saturday, according to Jim Lampley, the longtime voice of HBO boxing. Lampley will work the Davis-Roach pay-per-view as co-host of a live chat on ppv.com during the website's broadcast of the event, which is also available for purchase on Amazon's Prime Video and via traditional cable and satellite outlets. Lamont Roach Jr. has done his best to portray optimism, Lampley said. He has pointed out that he saw Davis in the amateur ranks and is already familiar with the 135-pound champion's precision power style. He has underlined his motivation to begin fulfilling his dreams of building a legend. He has observed the money-making platform that would ensue from an upset win.
He throws 28 punches per round, which is the lowest punch output of any major fighter in the sport, and he has a 94% knockout percentage, which is the highest knockout percentage of any major fighter in the sport. So those are two thoughts that
But what he has yet to do is to present a convincing outline for how he can solve a puzzle that has produced a lengthy series of spectacularly violent knockouts and made Tank Davis one of the biggest and most upwardly mobile names in boxing. Lampley is impressed with Davis, and not just because of the heavy hands that the 30-year-old from Baltimore has utilized for highlight reel conclusions. Even if Tank did not possess his shocking punching power, he would be an elite lightweight on the basis of his crafty boxing southpaw style advantage, clever footwork, and visible killer instinct, Lampley said. But it is pure power that really sets him apart. He doesn't just beat his opponents, he annihilates them in breathtaking, often scary fashion.
Almost can't go together, but they do. And it shows you that he's either employing a new style that hasn't existed before, or he's happened onto something accidentally that makes him extremely difficult to beat.
Like a career predator, he approaches his kills patiently, behaving like a counterpuncher, and then suddenly explodes into irrepressible violence to produce sudden finishes. His knockouts are picturesque, not unlike what we saw from Mike Tyson in the developmental stage of his career. Davis is now well beyond the developmental stage, but he is still outclassing shocked opponents. Roach, a 29-year-old from Washington, D.C., is the World Boxing Association's junior lightweight title holder. He has won 6 straight after losing a title fight to Jamel Herring via unanimous decision in 2019. Roach says he has improved since then, but Lampley feels the outcome this Saturday is still clear.
Extremely difficult to beat. I think there's all the logic in the world behind seeing the great attacker fight the great defender, and that means Tank Davis.
Roach has a quality background and is a highly competent boxer, Lampley said. But when I asked the most experienced boxing writer, I know what chance he gave to Roach in this fight, the answer was, the same chance I give to a caterpillar crawling in the way of a steamroller. Davis by middle round rescue TKO. Onward to potential matchups with Vasily Lomachenko, Shakur Stevenson and/or Keyshawn Davis, any of whom would have a better chance than Roach. Nevertheless, the 29-year-old's matchup with Roach remains somewhat bewildering, given that his opponent is moving up from the division below. Meanwhile, there are several appetizing matchups that could involve the remaining lightweight champions, Shakur Stevenson, Vasyl Lomachenko, and Denis Berinchik.
Against Shakur Stevenson. But if he fights Lomachenko, if he fights Teofimo, if he fights Keyshawn Davis, these are great matchups too. And every one of those fights could be entered.
Better still, Robert Garcia, who trains WBA super lightweight champion Jose Valenzuela, has suggested that a move up to 140 pounds would not be a bad option for Davis either. But regardless of the largely negative noise surrounding his career choices, Davis nonetheless appears to be on course to face Roach early next year. I love watching his fights, but he does need to be a little more aggressive when selecting his opponents, Garcia told Fight Hype. Make the right decisions, don't let people choose for you. You say, I want to fight that guy, and make it happen.
huge threat for Tank. Tank is very talented, very skilled, and also very experienced at this point now. He's fought and seen.
There's champions that do that, and that's why we get those big fights happening. Fighting guys like Roach doesn't mean anything. That's why they have to postpone those fights, because I'm pretty sure there was no attention. There were no people interested in watching that fight, and that's all for now. For the very best updates on news, moments, events, and actions in the world of boxing, stay connected with us by subscribing to our YouTube channel, and don't forget to turn on notifications to get notified when we drop quality contents like this. Until next time, peace out.